Hello, good morning, guys. It is match day. It is Aberdeen versus Rangers at Pittodrie as we seek to get revenge for that defeat there earlier this season. Certainly a result that kind of, I think, along the way helped to put the nails into Philippe Clement's coffin. First of all, guys, I want to thank you for your phenomenal support over this exceptionally tough time for the family. Obviously, as you're aware, I revealed some horrible news the other day. But look, your support's been amazing. It's been really comforting. Thank you for all your good wishes. Even a few Celtic fans getting in contact and wishing me all the very best from what is like I said, very difficult, very trying time for the family. So you have to bear with me. Obviously, I'll be getting videos out when I can, when I have opportunities to. Still doing it because let's face it, it is a good release. It is a good way to kind of get away from the horror of the situation that we kind of face at this moment in time. Right, look, today's game is a game that's it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's a game that we want to win. Of course, we want to win. We want to win every game between now and the end of the season, especially obviously coming off the back of that defeat to Hibs. Adding to that, of course, as well, the situation where Aberdeen are a team that whenever they play Rangers, they treat it as their Champions League final. They treat it as the kind of be all and end all of their life, as if their little sheep hearts can't cope with anything other than playing us and being the very best against us. So it is going to be a big game from that aspect, and it'll be a tough game. However, given the situation with the Europa League, where we stand coming out of that game on Thursday night, where I thought Rangers were heroic in the defence, played very well in terms of keeping that clean sheet once down to 10 men. I think, Liam Kelly was outstanding in that game. I certainly got it wrong on him, and I have to admit that. Fantastic from Liam Kelly. I thought the back four were excellent. James Tavernier had a very good game as well. Well done to Tav. I've got to say, I did think Cyril Dessers was an absolute waste of a shirt yet again. Hamza should have been on from the start. Hamza should have been on half time. Dessers should have been sat in the stands. The guy is absolutely hopeless, and I'll never change my opinion on that. And I think it's one of Barry Ferguson's massive weaknesses is his sort of unconditional love for Cyril Dessers. It's almost like Cyril Dessers has something on him. But I think that hopefully today we'll see a change of striker. We'll see someone else up front. Maybe Hamza plays as a 9, or Danilo comes in, gets a role. It does seem that Barry Ferguson doesn't like Danilo, given his fact that he has not used him at all. But look, today's game, I mean, like I said, it's Aberdeen. Their little sheep hearts will be beating 17 million to the dozen because they'll be wanting to beat Rangers. It's the be all and end all. It's their everything. It's their reason to live, isn't it? That's how they feel. They love it against us. Rangers, like I said, are in a difficult position in terms of what we do team selection. Barry will, I think, be very kind of keen to get the result because, domestically, if we were to lose again domestically, Celtic then are 16 points ahead of us, having thumped Kilmarnock yesterday 5-1. And, I think at the end of the day, as well as Barry can do in Europe, the domestic form is the one that could hang him, certainly. They might look at that and say, well, yeah, you've done it in Europe. Clement did it in Europe, but he was shocking domestically. You've been shocking domestically as well. I think in terms of team selection, you've got to be careful with some of these players. But we know Barry. I think he'll probably go with his strongest possible lineup. That's what he's going to do because that's what he seems to do no matter what. He doesn't seem to rest and rotate players a great deal. Liam Kelly obviously will continue in goal. I mean, no reason to bring back Jack Butland. The guy was fantastic, Liam Kelly, on Thursday night. Obviously, the penalty save, a couple of other very good saves as well. The back four is the tricky one, really. Obviously, Dujon Sterling is out long term. Something that's, I think, always going to pepper his Rangers career and hold him back. And, will certainly get fans thinking, thinking kind of, I don't know, Ryan Jack-esque about him. Fantastic footballer, brilliant footballer, but injuries, is just huge, isn't it? It is something that's going to massively hold him back in his career, and it's sad because the lad's a quality footballer, so obviously he will be out. You can't risk Big Leon. There's no way that if you want Big Leon to play Thursday, you can play him Sunday. He's already shown that if you were to play Big Leon today, you play him Thursday, you're going to get an injured Big Leon. That's what you're going to get. The guy's body can't hold up to it anymore. So you may even look at Clinton and Ciala coming back into play alongside John Souttar. Obviously, he will be available after suspension on Thursday night. Getting back into the team, getting back into the game. I hear what people are saying. You don't want to risk him, given the fact, obviously, that Proper will be suspended. But That'd be another game he's missed. You kind of start to question a bit of ring rustiness, even at this stage of the season. Get him in there, get him playing. I think you've got to go with Ridvan at left back. You just have to. You just have to, because look, Jefte is, he's not a defender. He just is not a defender. He really isn't. He really is not, and that is something that does need to be looked at going forward in terms of him and in terms of what he brings, to Rangers in terms of the future. Jefte really is not. He's not a defender, is he? I mean, I think he could be a wing back, certainly. I think he could be, I think he could play as a left winger. I just don't think he's a fullback at all. So I think that's the back four. Midfield, I think you've got to go, obviously, with Dio will be back. Play Dio alongside Raskan. Get Raskan off after an hour. Hopefully get a couple of goals up. Please God, let's hope it happens. And then put on Barron. Play Dio, bring Dio back in after his suspension. Hadji, I think, in a more attacking role. Hadji was excellent, I thought, on Thursday night. Absolutely brilliant, as always. And I'm a massive Hadji fan. It does look like he is now going to be on his way out of the club. That is the reports we are hearing at this present moment in time. Then the front three, I would go with Danilo to the left, Hamza in them through the middle, and Cheney on the right. So that would be my lineup. I'd have Cyril Dessers sat next to Douglas Park in the director's box. That's the best place for him, although he will have to be on the bench given our shortage of players. Obviously, Bailey Rice, worrying over him. How serious is that injury? I thought Bailey was absolutely brilliant on Thursday. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant performance from young Bailey. And, so it's seemingly proven that, age is no barrier. And, it's those Rangers fans that came onto X and came onto the channel and said, oh, you want to throw the game, playing kids in the game. Well, mate, I think I got it wrong. You got it right. So you got it wrong. You got it wrong. I got it right. The kid did well. The kids played well. And just shows what little you know about football. What a bunch of prats you really are. Look, I think, this game tomorrow, like I said, Aberdeen will be bang, bang up for it. They are... like I said, this is their reason for playing. This is their be all and end all, isn't it? This is what they love. They love Rangers. They love playing Rangers. It's what they love. They exist for, isn't it? Now they're coming in pretty decent form too. They beat Ross County 1-0 in their last game. Last time at Pittodrie they won 4-1 against Motherwell. There was a 0-0 against St Johnstone. St Johnstone are in decent form. They beat Celtic after all. They beat Queen's Park 4-1, the team that beat us in the Cup. They drew 2-2 with Dundee United at Pittodrie. They did go down 5-1 to Celtic, but let's face it, they always go down to Celtic because they always just bend over to Celtic. They beat Kilmarnock 1-0, Dundee 2-1. They won against Dunfermline in the Cup 3-0. You've got to go back to the 1st of Feb for their last loss against a non-Old Firm team, and that was against Hibs, which, Hibs is beating everybody at the moment, aren't they? They really are. So, this is a situation that they, like I said, that it will be a tough game. It's going to be a very tough game with them coming back into form. Obviously, there was that blip they had where they did not play well. Like I said, this season we've beat them 3-0 at Ibrox. Certainly, that was what was quite an easy victory. That was back on the 15th of January. Goals from Hamza, Balogun and Dessers after 97 minutes. Again, a goal, like I said, I've said with Dessers multiple times, his goals actually don't mean a great deal. That was a 3-0. Big Leon with a header. I remember that game. I remember going absolutely mental when Big Leon scored. Obviously, back the last time out at Pittodrie on the 30th of October, it was 2-1 to them. Devlin scored for them first. Bayrami, in a rare, decent performance, actually scored. And Morris got the winner after 74 minutes in what was a very dire performance that night from Rangers. And like I said, kind of a result, I think, that went a long way to kind of starting that rot, starting the end of the Clement era. Aberdeen sit 5th in the table now. They were 3rd in the second, even top at one stage this season. They have lost 11 games now. They'll be obviously anxious to get the points as they seek to hang on to that top 6 place. It is fairly secure for them. They are 8 points clear in 5th of St Mirren in 6th, so I think they've probably sealed that spot there, but they'll still want to go into the split with a win. After all, it is Rangers, like I said. In terms of our form domestically, forget Europe for a minute. You can kind of set that to one side. Domestically, it ain't great, is it? It really isn't great. Obviously, we lost 2-0 to Hibs. We had that 4-3 against Dundee that we were bloody lucky to win. We did beat Celtic 3-2 with a great performance, a kind of an out of the character performance in what was, you know, a standalone really. But as Barry Ferguson says, it's easy to get yourself up for games against Celtic and in Europe. It's the hard ones, obviously, to get yourself up for the likes of Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, St Johnstone. They're the games where you've got to get yourself up for. I think Barry will be looking for a response from his team. He'd be looking for them to go and prove they can do it against those so-called lesser teams. And that's not meaning any insult to the likes of Hibs and Hearts and Dundee United and Aberdeen. It's just kind of likening them obviously to Celtic, to European teams. They are lesser teams than those ones, as much as we may hate to admit it. In reference to the green and grey side of the city. But look, at the end of the day, this is a game we do need to get the 3 points from. It's a game we need the victory from. I hope that we can go out there, be positive from the first whistle. But certainly this season, it has been tough after the European games, hasn't it? On the Sunday, we've seen some fatigued, dreary performances. I'm not going to sit here for a minute and say Rangers have got a free hit tomorrow, because I still think there'll be a lot of very angry, upset people if we were to lose that game, as much as the focus is, of course, on Thursday and going to the San Mamés against Athletic Bilbao. Predictions? I can't predict Rangers to lose. It's 2-1 Rangers tomorrow for me. Let me know your score predictions in the comments. Thank you for watching. Once again, thank you for your phenomenal support. And as always, guys, please like, comment, share and subscribe on the way out. And remember always, we are the people.